address is 3818 Darlington Avenue, Northwest. I'm just here to speak in support of the increase of the dog license fee. And I am speaking on behalf of the Dog Warden Advisory Board, even though many of them could not make it today for this meeting. But we are in support of this license increase with the expectation that any additional revenues that this generates would be wisely allocated for the long overdue improvements to the dog pound facility.
In the previous paperwork that I had given you, that was broken down for you. I don't know if you guys have that in front of you. But we're looking at an approximate, if we were to sell approximately the 50,000 tags that we have typically been selling, the $2 increase would raise us from the estimation of $600,000 to $700,000, and the $4 increase would raise us to $800,000. Also, previously given to you was a list of the improvements that desperately need to be made both within our building, vehicles, the list is endless, including a furnace that will need to be replaced immediately according to K Company. Vehicles, we've obviously discussed the roof and ventilation improvements as brought up by the advisory board, as well as some improvements to the cages, things of that nature. We are well overdue for in our building right now.
When was the last time the dog license fee was raised?
2004. It went from $10 to $12.
Voted on 2003.
Yeah, it was
enacted 2004. Just as if you would vote this year, it's enacted 2012.
Your pleasure.
Madam President, I move to increase the dog license fee from $12 to $14. That would be a $2 increase on the license fee, and the kennel license from $60 to $70. It'd be my understanding that it would be done in a $10 increment. I would move that would become effective for calendar year 2012, effective January 1 or whatever effective date that the statute may require.
Second, are there any comments or questions? I know you need the $4, but unfortunately, boards have not kept pace with this. And I don't like to point fingers to past boards, but quite frankly, this is what puts us in the trouble that we get in when people do not take the responsibility to pass this on to dog owners. I know that some people consider this a tax or an increase, but it is for the care of our dogs at the dog and kennel, and therefore I will support the $2. Would have liked to give you the $4, but $2 this year, and we'll come back next year and revisit.
And it is very clear to me from having been in the dog pound and from also having reviewed numerous presentations and discussions that we've had regarding your budget and most recently regarding your proposed increases that your office and the facility is in serious need of upgrade and improvements, and that's why I'm making this motion to increase the license fees.
No other comments or questions? All in favor? Aye. Motion carried.
What kind of factor was going with the $2 dog license increase due to the sales tax issue being on the ballot?
I don't know that I even considered the sales tax as much as I considered what it meant to a dog owner. A $4 increase is pretty hefty, and I think a $2 increase is palatable to them, and they want to know that if in fact your dog ends up there, that it is properly taken care of.
So this will delay the speed with which the improvements are made at the pound?
Delay the speed, I think that it will enhance them, and that presently we only have $600,000 approximately in revenues in that fund. And now we're going to increase the revenue source to $700,000.
Well, I understand that, but is there enough? I mean, because the recommendation was for $4, and the commissioners voted $2, so it seems to me that the warden will be on a schedule and she won't be able to get as much done during the $2 period increase as the $4.
Now, understanding your question now that you've asked it again, again, yes, I suppose that the improvements may be made not as quickly as they would have been made had we improved the $4 increase, but at least from my perspective, again, I think that any increase larger than $2 in the economy that we face in Stark County today with employment rates and other economic issues and so forth, that the $2 was appropriate at this time. I think that we as commissioners, as a board, whether I'm here or someone else, needs to re-examine this 2 years from now again to determine what improvements have been made, what improvements continue to be needed, and how everything else is occurring with regard to the running of the dog pound. And of course, as Commissioner Creighton stated earlier, we wish that this had been looked at in 2003 and in subsequent years thereafter, rather than allowing things to deteriorate to the point that they have. Again, I think that $2 is the appropriate increase, given all of the circumstances. At least from my perspective.
Including the sales tax being on the ballot?
Including the sales tax being on the ballot.
Okay. And so the commissioners plan every year before August 31st comes along to be looking at the dog pound situation to see whether or not the fees be increased?
Well, since I'm going to be here for 4 years, because I have a 4-year term, I will tell you that I will be revisited each year. And again, I will reiterate that I am disappointed that previous boards did not take a serious look at this. I know that a lot of people do not like to raise fees or fines or taxes, but there are necessary things that we are statutorily or should, just for the good of the common good, should take a look at these things. Am I going to pledge to you that I'm going to vote for one every year? I will cross that bridge when I come to it. I will examine where we are at that point in time, how much progress has been made, what else needs to be done, and we will go forward at that time.